I'm Bobby Kennedy with TKO Racing GP135. This is Chasin Tails.
Here we go. Let's get into talk the first event coming up, Caesars Creek Testing. Have you guys heard how many boats are showing up?
A lot. The joke was actually going around that we're going to have to run heats of testing because there's going to be that many 2.5 stocks. And
wow,
I think upwards of 14.
I suspect it'll be half the field.
Aren't there some guys from north of the border coming?
I think so.
At least 2 that I know of.
Did I see Guillaume Charette?
I think he's planning on it. I know there's I think they just got the boat repainted, right?
Nice.
I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Remy or one of them made it down too.
Yeah.
I mean, he wants to get in that boat bad.
Yeah, it's a great place to test for sure. It's a little bit bigger course than what we run up in HRL, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You get flying down there.
I think it's 1.25 miles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they were saying last year it might have been a little bit bigger even, but they wouldn't really say.
Testing.
Straightaways were long. I mean, the run from the exit to the start was like 12 seconds or something like that.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah. Everyone parked up.
Austin still managed to be late.
It seems to happen.
Only once.
What was it, a qualifier or was it a final?
It was the quali.
So the quali. Hey, well, no.
The final start was just a nightmare. They were still determining lanes about 200 yards from the start finish line.
A little bit of bumper boat action.
Oh, you mean
that's
where the trailer. That's where the trailer. It was supposed to be a trailer, but nailed the start on the outside and decided to just come over on the whole field.
He jumped the gun
by like 3 seconds.
Oh, he jumped the gun.
Yeah.
It's that old mentality.
Awesome.
I've only heard people like Dave Greenlaw say that. I just need clean water. I don't care if I jump the gun or not. I'm racing up front.
It's the pound dog.
It's not wrong. Not wrong.
That's the same thing his son said. The same Dave Jr. says.
Oh, I was talking Dave Jr. Dave Jr.
I just want
never
clean
said
water.
that.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, I remember one time we jumped the gun. I was like, "What you jump the gun for?" He's like, "Get clean water. See how much I can beat him by." I'm like, "Well, you didn't really beat him."
Yeah, man, whatever it takes sometimes.
Never forget the first year in Caesars Creek racing with them, and he told us that it was basically his plan. He wanted lane 1, but he wasn't fighting for it before the start. So at the start, jumped it by 2 seconds from 6 to 1 in about 100 feet and cut off just about every boat. It was.
Hey man, he probably had someone sitting there videotaping it so he can go back and watch it. Yeah, look, I was out in front and all asses. Where was that?
I don't know.
What race was that?
That was Caesars Creek. First year that I somewhere rode with Billy and them.
I know they tried to get
you guys had
skiffs again this year.
You guys there's a good handful of skiffs there at one year.
Yeah, the first year we had a full field of probably 8 or 10 of them, and I mean, we ran 2 heats. I think
it's kind of tough because it's always the last towards the end of the year. It's the last race of the year for some people.
Trying to go for the extra points.
Yeah,
that's good about them racing.
Last year, Jimmy gone, there was no one coming out. I mean, not even down in Lakeland. It was a good field, but it was mainly like Strickland and them, not the normal skiff guys down there.
Yeah. If we get all the skiff guys in one race, that would be cool.
All you got to do to get all the skiff guys to go to a race is have Greenwood Lake back. I think we were there. I think there was like 20 skiffs. There was 3 or 4 qualifiers. It was insane. I was like,
I'd have to imagine they'll go up to Hampton, right?
They'll probably get a fair amount, but it's something about Jersey. If you put Jersey, all the Jersey skiffs will come. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's fair.
There was a good amount this year at like Mays Landing, I believe.
Yeah,
maybe if they have Greenwood Lake, maybe Mahan would put up some prize money to get all the GPs there.
Maybe
that would be a cool place to run GP. I remember watching Uncle George ran there. Yeah. Didn't Jan bring his GP there once?
So. We tested there a few years back.
When's the last time they ran there?
Yeah,
ran there probably 2018. I don't think we raced there in 19. Yeah,
I don't know if I've ever been to that race.
Nah, It's usually in May. They got to go either before Memorial Day or after Labor Day, so it kind of really puts things into a bind. But I know Jay Hardy's working
Yeah,
on it.
it's
What's
a real
that, like,
busy lake.
non-race skiff event that they do where they all get together, take the roll cages off, and
the fun
the
run.
North-South fun run. Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun down
that looks
there.
like a blast.
Mooresville.
Dude, I remember, I think like the first or second year riding, we raced against the Stewarts, and I think it was not even the next weekend they had that, and they already had the cage all ripped out,
Yep.
different seats in it, just ready to go. I'm like, hey,
It's full bore, man. There's not enough.
full turnaround.
Yep. Just gotta get back out there and have some fun.
Oh yeah.
So you guys finally got some paint on the bottom of your new boat.
Yeah. There's some paint and
Topside painted in 2
no
days,
holes
hopefully.
and-
Yep.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Well, no pinholes.
No pinholes.
Hopefully the top side goes a little smoother. We got a lot more body filler on that top side.
Yeah, we do.
No, it should look
once it gets
good.
flipped over.
Yeah, Ed's doing a real good job on the bottom. I know it's been a little struggle, but I mean, what are you going to do? New boat like that, you're going to have those little hiccups.
Pinholes are a pretty common issue with building hydroplanes, I would have to imagine.
Yeah. It seems
the
like
molding's really a hard process for sure. Getting everything wet out enough and then vacuum bagging it. Definitely. As technologies increase, the precision will increase a lot.
Yeah, I will say it might be a little bit of a setback, but he's talked about it before. It gives us a chance to run this boat just white and clean, and
I think it
like you guys did.
It's definitely,
it looks so beautiful.
it's definitely happening. If we make it to Caesars, it'll definitely be all white. So we're definitely gonna.
I thought the GP looked sweet in Cambridge.
It did, yeah. It's just fast, clean.
Just the bird up front.
Yep.
it's 27 days till Caesars Creek.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I think
25,
26, 27.
26.
Last weekend of
Wow.
April.
Wonder how many people out there are going to be
27th,
thrashing
28th.
to make it.
Oh, I'm sure.
I see a lot of boats still being painted, so I'm sure a lot.
It's so funny. You see that every year. Like, nothing happens on boat racing Facebook from like basically September until mid-February.
Yeah,
And then you'll see like, oh, just took the cowling off posts and stuff like that mid-February.
because it's so dang cold up there in Canada. Unless your stuff's in a nice garage and you don't even want to turn the heat on. Costs too much to turn the heat on up there.
Not wrong.
We were just at the NPR meeting, the last one last month, and Timmy Collins was there, and he's like, yeah, I don't think I've taken the cowling off yet. It's actually still fully strapped down, cowling on. Haven't even opened the lid yet. I'm just like,
Yeah, he said last time it ran, it set a record, so hopefully it's good to go when we get to Caesars.
Right. That's a good thing to have there.
Yeah. Not a bad recent history.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys, Ronnie Thompson's coming out with a new 2.5 stock this summer. What other new boats are coming out? No, there's Hot One off the press, just bought. And what's not new, but has been running for not a lot of consecutive races.
You ain't gonna
You're
steal.
saying like truly new.
You're not gonna
hulls,
steal
or-
Huey Newbert's soundbite there and announce something that shouldn't be announced, are you?
The Charger.
Oh, man.
gee.
So the Charger is purchased. From what I hear, it's going to run the GPA HRL series.
That's pretty exciting. I mean, just think of that a little bit. That GP challenge that's coming out between GPA and HRL brings out extra boats. I mean, Bobby, Ed Thompson goes and buys the Bergeron from his brother Ron. Now you guys are running that. We're running a second boat. Now possibly the Charger being bought to run that series. Roger Mahan's finally going to come out. I mean, just the intensity of everyone talking about this series has brought boats out of the woodworks, I'd say.
I mean, big money on the line. That will bring people out.
Definitely helps.
More than the money, it's bragging rights.
Dave Muzinski with Scott Pierce's old boat. He's supposed to be out.
Is that boat that Christensen bought going to run this challenge? The old
I think
RTX?
they're just running the GPA stuff on the West Coast this first year. Get their feet wet.
Are they? Is that where they're from?
Yeah. They're from Washington.
Yeah.
He used to have a GP prior.
I believe so.
To this
yeah,
one?
I believe so.
Okay.
I think he's had a couple boats in the past. If
Has that RTX boat just been sitting since?
Yeah. So HRL traded that boat for the white boat that is now a Pro Hydra that Dominic Messinov's going to drive. They kind of just did an even swap or whatever the financials was of that. I really don't know, but
so the hulls in those classes the same specs?
Pretty much. I would say the V boats are a little bit lighter. They've tried to take a lot of weight out of them. little less horsepower, about 400 less horsepower. The idea with that class was to be a halfway point between the 350s and the Grand Prix. Another stepping stone, because HRL felt the stepping stone from H350. The GP was pretty stout, not only speed wise but money wise. So tried to create a bridge the gap a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which I don't think the boat that Mezanoff has to run in the Pro V class was ever meant to be a GP. It was built as a unlimited light, I believe.
Yep. Yeah.
And unlimited lights don't have 1,500 horsepower.
Right.
So,
yeah, and that's, you saw it when the hops rented out west. They put that carbureted blower motor on it. Probably was going a little too fast for what it was built for and ripped the sponson off. So, I mean, it happens. So now it's back to normal, to being a pro hydro.
What was it? Kevin Ecrete was driving that at the time,
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Are any of the current GPs old unlimited light hauls other than that one?
Our old boat, the Jones that Shallers have, was built for an unlimited light. It was the Wildfire at the time that it was built.
I guess Hops is technically, right?
Hops was, yes. Yeah, it was the old Alamo. I mean, that boat's been around since the late 90s, if you can believe that. Yeah. And still just, that
boat's probably got more heatings and everything else combined.
If that boat could talk, it could tell some stories.
Yeah.
But yeah, this challenge is going to be exciting. The competition, like I said earlier, the bragging rights mean more than the money. Making the final is going to be a feat, I believe.
Oh yeah, you got to have a base, not a perfect weekend, but you go out and jump the gun your first tee or break down, like you're pretty much out.
Yeah.
I will say this right now. After looking at all the competition, there's never been this much competition in GP ever. Back in the 90s, you might have had 15, 18, whatever GPs. Well, you didn't have 12 GPs that could go win at any weekend. This is going to have the fastest boats in GP history running together.
Okay.
Definitely.
It is going to be wild. If someone doesn't make the final, they're going to enjoy watching the show when they see that final, because
fans of Valleyfield are about to see the coolest boat race they've ever seen.
Yeah.
Guntersville, Madison, Valleyfield, they're all going to be mind blown. It's going to be awesome.
For sure. Just think of that consolation heat too. Like I said, not every fast boat's going to make the final. So you're going to have a last chance qualifier to get in with some of the fastest boats. You don't think you're going to put your butt on the line for that one?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Did they agree to do a consolation heat with the series?
Yeah, as long as we're over X amount of boats, I think it's 10 boats or something like that, we definitely have a consolation. It's in
six boat
final. Yep. So in Valleyfield, it'll be 5 on the front line, 1 trailer. Everywhere out, it'll be 6.
And then at least, we're running with those turbine engines down in Guntersville, Madison. But the cool little twist with this year with GPA and HRL is we do time trials in the morning. So I know Unlimiteds do their little testing or time trials as well in the morning, but at least we get out there on the water and wake these fans up a little bit.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Make some noise.
Qualifiers like they are at Valleyfield normally.
Just time trials, go out, lay your fastest time, and then that's how they're going to stack the lanes from there on out.
Also down at Guntersville this year, we're going to have the stock outboards, right?
Yeah, I did hear that. That's going to be real cool, though.
I seen someone say that.
They're doing like a mini marathon.
Yeah, it's marathon boats. I think they have like 30 boats coming. That's what I was told.
Wow.
Yeah, that's going to be neat. Something different, man.
It's been a while since they've mixed the outboard and the inboard like that.
That should be quite a turnout down there between the outboards, the 350s or the pro lights, the GPs and unlimiteds.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good show.
It's going to be long days.
I think it's going to be long days, but a lot of action this year. There won't be as much downtime as years back.
That needed, especially after last year was, I think, a little disappointing.
Yeah,
ultimately for everybody. So to get a good follow up year will be huge for that site
for sure. And you guys have been there, but I will say at this point in time, there's few races that treat you as nicely as Guntersville. You go there and you feel like you're royalty. They bring you ice. They do anything they can to make the racers happy, and that's why I like.
I remember we got the ride over the bridge in the back of the guy's pickup truck, and we're all sitting there, and he's like, "You guys need beer?" We're like, I just walked into a beer truck, grabbed a case, started handing us beers. We're like, okay, man, thank you.
Yeah.
You're just giving stuff down there.
Yeah.
True Southern.
I remember I think it was Saturday at Gunther'sville 2 years ago. The Unlimited still had to run, so we took the shuttle over and we walked in the VIP tent and walked up, and I said, "How much for a beer?" They're like, "It's free." I'm like, "My kind of place. All right, let's go." And it's pretty cool to sit there in the VIP and be able to watch the Unlimiteds run, and
Yeah.
it
You're
was,
lucky I
it was definitely a treat.
stumbling over my words for that final on the radios because I was standing right next to that bar.
Yeah, held you cool. That's
We're
good.
like 2 feet from it, standing in the sand. I got ice cold beer.
Yeah, because you can't stand in the sun there. It's pretty damn hot.
Oh my god,
yeah.
dude! That
Man.
2 years. I don't know how it was last year, but 2 years ago, that was probably one of the hottest days of like
Oh, yeah.
work I've ever done.
And-
Like I've sat out on the boat that hot before, but actually like
Yeah.
working, running around, doing stuff.
No.
Yeah,
That was crazy.
got it.
The one year with Austin, when Austin Rojas was helping, and it was like
Same.
me, Rojas, Steve, and Kyle on the old 35 or the 135, and oh my god, I thought Steve was gonna die that day.
I just kept getting
That
Steve
man
those
was-
rags out of the cooler. Just every 10 minutes, put a new one on him. Get him a new rag. I swear, like boat racing just brings the hottest weather too. Like we've been to Cambridge and it's been like 105, even though it was 75 all week. And Valleyfield's had a couple just steamers before where it's like even the locals are like, this is ridiculous. It wasn't this hot for the entirety of last month.
I feel like that's even what they say in Gunnersville a lot, is that it's usually like
That's what they said the first
abnormally
year.
hot.
Yeah, they said it was unseasonally hot.
Yep.
And I was like, I don't know. It's kind of what I was
All
expecting.
right, we've been there twice
here.
now, and it's pretty seasonable. I think they just tell you that to cool you off a little bit.
Oh yeah. The other thing they had there, which of course they would, is awesome food. Their food trucks and stuff.
The Piggly Wiggly.
Yeah.
Piggly Wiggly, that's the store.
Pulled pork, mac and cheese.
Wait, do they have a barbecue thing set up?
Oh yeah. They have a couple of them.
Yeah.
They got those
Nice.
those like trailers that you'll just see like in parking lots in downtown areas, just like a mobile restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you guys running at Edgewood this year with the 2.5?
Yeah,
That's the plan.
as long as we don't
Yeah.
blow it up in Caesars Creek or something.
Last year when we went to Edgewood and I started driving new GP for the first time, that was all that I could think of. I was like, I'm gonna take it easy.
Did I glue
I'm
this?
gonna
Did I
take
glue
it
that?
easy because I ain't never put one of these things together before. So what happens if sponsive falls off? I mean, happens to the good builders too over times. But I told Dad, I said I'm gonna go out there, run a couple easy laps. But then I put my foot down. I was like, forgot all about that stuff. We're going now.
Then you got to Cambridge and found out you need a gym membership to drive that boat.
Yeah, them little clips I hop on them videos are pretty funny.
That was a
was
hell of
good.
an introduction heat for that boat.
Yeah, no doubt. It was, yeah,
Let's go stick
us.
what ultimately ends up being 3 of probably the 5 fastest boats out there together.
Yep. Only way to do it is hammer it. Can't be
Yeah.
can't slow down.
Hammer down,
Yeah,
Larry.
the video you guys coming up the start that
Mm.
Cambridge just posted the other day was badass.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
wild.
Speaking
Yeah, that
of
was
new
a good
boats, the skiff, what's your guys' plan for that this year?
So we're gonna have Mason drive it this year. I don't know if Matt's gonna ride with him or if somebody else will ride with him. That hasn't been decided yet, but planning on it's in succession. I mean, GP comes first and 2.5 once it comes
Yeah.
back from paint, and then we'll put the good motor in the skiff. We had the spare motor in by accident last year, so put the good motor in and see what we can do.
Hey Brandon, I think you owe it to Mason. He drives and you ride.
No, thank you. I did. I have rode with some bad drivers, so I mean, it could happen.
So I did tell Mason I would ride with him once.
Okay. We
But-
did talk about this the other day that it should be Mason and Austin, and all we got to do when they go out and say, "Remember that golf cart in Valleyfield?"
Yeah, you
What
can
was that?
see us
Wrecked
riding
a golf
the
cart.
98.
Wrecked
yeah.
a golf cart in
Yeah.
the campground. It was like
$1,800
$1,500
worth of damage to a
$1,800 worth of damage to a golf cart.
Yep. Whoopsies. I was trying to
That's
find the
crazy.
change in my pocket.
No, I was trying to hand him the change. He's just
I was trying to get some loonies out of my pocket.
See if they had cash, they wouldn't have had a problem.
They still confused me.
That's crazy.
Still confused me.
Man.
That is crazy.
But yeah, no, I told him last year I'd ride with him if he ended up coming to Caesars Creek. I had a whole plan. I bought a yellow caution flag and I was going to write rookie driver on it. And as we got out there,
Dangle it behind
just
That would be
roll
funny.
cage.
make sure everyone knows.
Yep.
Stay nice and clear.
Speaking of accidents and wrecking things, where's you got that clip of Valleyfield?
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at this.
Yeah, let's see this.
All right, Kyle, we got to get your description on what you were feeling in this moment.
Oh no!
So taking a look at Valleyfield, I believe was this the final where you're the
Yeah,
meat
this is
between the
like
sandwich?
Lap 3 or 4 of the final.
Third lap in of being in between two boats.
Yeah, I'm really not enjoying this position. I'm going to go into this turn really hard and see if I can get out of it.
Wing down.
Did not go very well.
Oh yeah, that's
I mean,
pretty
you were holding a good arc, but
Yep.
Yeah, I slid a little bit. I think with how deep he drove in, like I felt comfortable letting it slide. And then he had the right to square it off. He led me into the turn by like 2 boat lengths. But you can see, I mean, the camera doesn't show all of my field of view, but like in my actual field of view in real time, I didn't see him after I set for the turn.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
he's right next to
All
you.
of a sudden, the
hard.
entire right side of my windshield was yellow. And I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, well, it's that funnel effect of Valleyfield too. You're coming down the front stretch and through that wide first turn, and then it seems like everything narrows up by the time you get down here to turn 2. I mean, you're looking out at open water, but it funnels down to not too much, especially as you come off that corner.
I knew I needed to get through there a little, because I was definitely laying off to go through that turn, trying to really hold Alex tight the previous laps. And every lap, or pretty much every turn, Garrett would pull me coming out of the turn by a good half rooster tail. And I knew if I wanted to get ahead of him, I was going to need to at least negate that one time, if not multiple times, and just center a little too hard.
You're not the only one that sent it a little too hard in Valleyfield.
I mean, turn with Jack.
Yep. Yep.
That reminds me, Jack, looking at that picture behind you, Jack flipping. Raymond Hart, he just flipped in New Zealand, his GP. Is there a way we can pull up that video from Facebook?
Yeah,
or
let's give it a whirl.
I mean, I wish they had a longer video, because the start of that video, he was just hanging it out there. I wonder how long he was hanging it before it actually took off.
Yeah.
I had a pretty good view on my phone, but it because I'm holding it and watching it live, as soon as he kind of hits the point of no return, the phone either went flying or I pulled it down or something. It's from the other side, so it wasn't as good of a view, but it was at least a different perspective.
Oh, I'm talking about Raymond Hart.
Oh, I got
this most recent blowover.
Yeah, it just happened this year, this last weekend actually.
God, I was like,
oh, you're talking about when Jack went over at Valleyfield?
Yeah, that's what I thought. That was weird.
There's so many good views of that one. I love the video of Jack blowing over from the backstretch. I mean, if I can find that one, maybe on one of the next podcasts or something, pull that one up, talk about that.
Jack, we don't love you. We don't love Jack flipping, but he does it in spectacular
it was awesome.
form.
It was wild. I remember looking at it in my mirror and I'm like, is he? Oh, he gone.
I mean, when the Luptons do something, they do it right.
The critical part of a good GP blowover is you have to dead foot it midair.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, it doesn't
Jack
count.
did.
Where was it in Brockville that
Eric
Langevin put it
Yeah,
over?
Langevin. Oh my
Langevin, dude,
that's the highest
he was
I've
trying
ever
to send those
seen
pistons
a Grand
to the
Prix.
moon.
Was that
and
one.
just screaming the whole time.
That was awesome.
That's I give Raymond Hart credit in this blowover. I'm pretty sure he lifted, man. You hear it dead silent.
He let out. He actually let out.
It's crazy how
very
fast the other guy reacts.
You
too.
can see he's already airing
he's
it
already up there.
pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see under the whole thing.
That water is like
nice.
glass.
Give me rough water any
Right?
day.
Let's go ahead and play this thing.
God.
He landed the worst way
Yeah.
too, tripping the back end. That does nothing good for the ball.
No. I mean, it's basically identical to Dustin's in Madison this year.
Yeah.
I mean, what I could tell the result from
Oh,
the
yeah,
pictures,
yeah,
they look
yeah.
it's the same too.
Yeah.
Just
Yep,
split it in half.
exactly.
Split it
I
in
mean, to be
quarters.
flat like
Yeah.
that after a blowover.
That's wild, dude. That is such a cool
That's
freeze
such
frame.
a cool
That's
picture.
Looks like Bob
Yeah.
when he went over Doug.
Yeah.
That was a rough one.
So is that boat's one of the Lupton's old boats?
So yeah, it was Ken's boat over here, brand new. And
Yeah.
then he shipped it back
yellow
over. It
one?
was red and black when it was over here.
Oh, okay.
It had this like nice gray finish to the decks. It was really nice.
Okay. Gotcha. Wait, like the
That was three boats ago.
Oh, okay. So this was like before it's probably before I even knew the Luptons were
Probably.
racing out here.
Because he had this one over here. He shipped it over, ran that. So he might not even ran it. He might have just sold it right away, and then had all to go over there and help him build his new one. And then he had another one built over here.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And that's the current
must
one,
be-
right? The white one.
Man, it must be nice to have those type of
Yeah.
problems.
Selling a lot of sheep down there. I keep telling Jack, I said, man, next time you come over, bring a couple sheep. We'll have a couple sheep racing. That'd be fun in the pit area.
Throw helmets on and just.
Oh yeah.
Dude, we can get a whole like bet.
If you start sheep racing, that will bring Johnny
Oh
Hughes
yeah.
back.
Look at what he's doing down there in Mexico. I mean, he will be
He will
ready.
show up with his
How
own
about that
sheep.
picture he posted the other day of Dan Camfusion on a little mini horse? That was pretty funny.
Oh, dang. Did not see that.
He's still just living down in Mexico, living his best
Yeah,
life.
he goes down there every winter.
Yeah,
Then he'll
yeah,
be back
man.
up here in like the summer.
Yeah.
I know that's probably what makes it
It
a
does
little
look like
tricky
those
too,
pictures.
especially with them flat boats, man. You get just hovering there, and then next thing you know, they're gone. Let's go ahead and play this.
Him and Ashley.
Good for him.
He goes down, plays like on a soccer team, and just lives
Sounds
on
good
a
to me.
beach.
Sounds like a blast.
Yeah, it's pretty much the dream.
Yeah,
What are the new boats? I know we started talking about it earlier. We got what? Wilson's got a 2.5.
yep.
Bert's got a 350. Obviously, we got the 2.5.
Handy's boat sold. It's
Yeah,
not
there-
new.
Were
But
there any other new builds?
Let's think. I'm not too sure. I know a couple 2.5s up there in HRL got new sponsons. I know. I think it's
Matthew
Danny
Brown.
Legier with the H boat, the yellow one. I think he got new sponsons on that Bergeron.
Mhm.
And that's kind of wild to watch some of them 350s get the updated Henderson sponsons and they almost come alive. Look at the Bull Shark last year. I mean, I feel like he had a major improvement in speed and I think even blew it over, but that's okay. Find its limits.
It was like the most nonchalant blowover too.
Yeah.
Like nobody even in the pits even like realized that it happened.
Yeah.
Who's
He
that?
just stopped and everybody was asking like, what's going on?
Who was that?
The Bull Shark, Carl St. Vincent.
Yeah. Same.
Where did he go over at?
you know who's was it Matthew Brown and Bohornwall that just like rolled over in the turn?
Yeah, just
That was-
flopped over.
Watching that at home was just so weird because like I watched everyone just keep going and I'm like didn't even like second guess that I saw a sponson up in the air.
Yeah.
And then they like pan back to
Dude,
it.
how
and
do you,
it's like,
how do you
oh.
think I felt in the radios? Dad comes over the radios and he's like, probably going to be a red flag. We got a boat upside down in turn 2. I'm like,
Probably going to be a red flag.
Like, is the red flag out or not, dude?
There's no
He's
problem.
like, yep, shut it down. I obviously didn't get to see that one happen, but I damn near did the exact same thing. I think it's like my my wallpaper on Facebook.
Yeah.
You hit that hole in that turn and that right sponson can come up quite a ways.
Yeah, that's another tricky course. You're coming down in the turn 2, and there's just all the dams there. Just send that water. I mean, especially when the water levels are high, it gets super rough down there.
Yeah.
But that's where the real race is in my mind.
I thank Michigan for preparing me with all their potholes for
No doubt. Yeah, we always pick on certain races, Brockville, Tonawanda, but man, every race can get rough. You got Madison, got that hole in the first turn. I mean, Gunnersville does not get rough, I don't think, unless we do a bunch of loops through that. That lake's just too big, or if it gets really windy. It was rough when that storm came through last year and they left that unlimited upside down. Then we might have seen Brockville conditions, but we still would have raced.
Yeah.
Then you have your races. There's a couple races that some of the course will be smooth, and then the other half, like Cambridge, like the second half of turn 1 can get super rough sometimes, but the turn 2 always beautiful.
Yeah.
Valleyfield after the starting line's nice, round turn 1's nice, and then all of a sudden you get down to turn 2 and it's you have 2-foot rollers.
And you get courses like Rocky Fork where it's glass water, but
Yeah.
you have the island, so as soon as you break it, it's still really clean water, but you just get hit with all the wind and it's a weird feeling. It's not what you expect.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably drove that a little different in the second heat than the first.
Oh
heat,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I was
Actually, I think there's one other course besides Guntersville that never ever gets rough, and that's Maze Landing.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been in the middle of that course with skiffs and a little dinky turn boat. It got rough. I was in the tiny bowl. I felt like a turd swimming around in there.
I would be scared.
Yeah,
I was about to say,
terrified.
depending on
There,
how long you
I
go,
could pull
how many boats
videos
you
up of
go
that
up.
one. Me and John in that little tiny turn boat. Man, I
Oh,
was
yeah.
terrified.
I remember seeing it.
Every-
No, thank you on that. Being in a skiff on that
See,
course is probably bad
Yeah.
enough.
You got to do it like me. If I turn judge at Maze Landing, I'm on the scaffolding
Yeah,
on shore.
I've done,
They got a bathroom there. You can go get a
I've done it there too.
cheeseburger.
I did it with Johnny Douche, and he was so excited when he got to shoot the flare. And it was at a flat bottom too, man. He landed it right on the dude's head. It's pretty funny.
Oh man,
Dude, I just like core memories of him just like 5 o'clock hits at the race. Here comes Johnny Douche in a speedo, just strolling down to the dock to dive in to the Detroit River or anything. He didn't care how cold or how gross he was. He was getting in there in the speedo, man. Yeah.
What was that like little show? Him and Between Two Cans? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
With him and Steve.
Yeah,
That
was
was
good,
funny.
yeah.
They got to bring that back, man.
yeah.
That was funny.
Maybe try to get him on here one time.
Yeah, I mean that's
That
a
would
cool
be-
thing. We're gonna bring other people on every week. I think it's pretty simple.
We got to get Armstrong
Yeah,
on
Steve.
here. I'd like to get Armstrong
Yeah.
on here. That's someone. That's someone I think, you know, if there's ever an open GP ride, I think Armstrong would do good.
Yeah, he's very good with equipment. I mean, always there on his starts. He's always competitive.
Every boat that he's been in, he's
Right.
won in. I mean, from his T boat to his 2.5 to Hugoneer's 2.5 to Al Thompson's 2.5, he won a championship and
Valley
that.
Field,
I mean,
yeah.
Because he stepped
That
his
Valley
speedboat
Field,
up
I
to
mean-
2.5 eventually, didn't he?
Yeah,
He's also just a
I mean-
great dude for the sport.
yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
He's
for sure.
great spokesperson, super nice, always there to help people out. And
Yeah, he does a great job emceeing at the HRL Gala. Makes it a lot of fun.
he did Bob's wedding song.
Yeah, that's some good stuff.
Yeah, he did my wedding song. That's for sure.
It's a good one too.
Yeah, he deserves a ride in the GP. I think he would do good. Don't get any ideas. Don't steal my ride.